Burrhus Frederick Skinner, an American psychologist, behaviorist, author, inventor, and social philosopher, is widely recognized as the father of behaviorism. He established the experimental analysis of behavior as a research psychology approach and utilized operant conditioning to strengthen behavior. Skinner developed the operant conditioning chamber, commonly known as the Skinner box, to study this process. He also invented the cumulative recorder to measure response rates. Together with Charles Foerster, Skinner published influential work on schedules of reinforcement in their book, Schedules of Reinforcement, in 1957. Skinner enrolled at Hamilton College in Clinton, New York, with the goal of pursuing a writing career. However, his intellectual demeanor put him at a social disadvantage during his time at college. He was a member of the Lambda Chi Alpha fraternity. After completing his Bachelor of Arts degree in English Literature in 1926, he went on to attend Harvard University, where he would later conduct research and teach. It was during his time at Harvard that Skinner was convinced by fellow student Fred S. Keller that behavior could be studied as an experimental science. This led Skinner to develop a prototype of the Skinner box and collaborate with Keller in creating other tools for small experiments. In his later years, Skinner earned a PhD from Harvard in 1931 and remained there as a researcher for several years. In 1936, he joined the faculty at the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis. In 1945, Skinner relocated to Indiana University, where he served as the chair of the psychology department from 1946 to 1947. In 1948, he returned to Harvard as a tenured professor and remained there for the rest of his life. Skinner was a signer of the Humanist Manifesto II in 1973. Skinner labeled his approach to behavior study as radical behaviorism, which emerged as a response to depth psychology and other conventional branches of psychology that struggle to make testable predictions. Radical behaviorism, rooted in the early 1900s, asserts that behavior is shaped by environmental reinforcement histories, as seen in applied behavior analysis. Skinner clarified that what individuals feel or observe introspectively is not a separate realm of consciousness or mental existence, but rather their own physical bodies. This does not imply that introspection serves as psychological research, nor does it suggest that introspected feelings are the causes of behavior. An organism behaves the way it does due to its current makeup, much of which is beyond introspective reach. Therefore, in studying behavior, we must rely on an individual's genetic and environmental histories, as advocated by methodological behaviorism. Introspection only provides glimpses of certain byproducts of those histories. This perspective challenges the damage caused by mentalism, where explanations halt when behavior is attributed solely to internal factors. Skinner's behaviorism laid its foundations in his initial book, The Behavior of Organisms, 1938. In this work, he systematically described how environmental factors exert control over behavior. He distinguished between two types of behavior that are regulated differently. Both respondent and operant behaviors had been previously studied experimentally by Ivan Pavlov and Edward Thorndike, respectively. However, Skinner's account presented certain distinctions and aimed to integrate them under one comprehensive framework. The notion that behavior is influenced by its consequences, resulting in strengthening or weakening, raises several inquiries. Commonly asked questions include the origin of operant responses and the sources of reinforcement in the first place. How is a response directed or controlled once it becomes part of an organism's behavior? How can we explain highly complex and seemingly new behaviors? For example, if a rat or a child learns that lever pressing only results in food when a light is on, they will press the lever only when the light is on. Skinner summarized this relationship by stating that a discriminative stimulus, such as light or sound, sets the occasion for the reinforcement, food, of the operant, lever press. This three-term contingency, stimulus-response reinforcer, is a crucial concept in Skinner's theory and distinguishes it from theories based solely on pairwise associations. However, Skinner recognized that a significant portion of behavior, particularly human behavior, cannot be explained solely by gradual shaping or the construction of response sequences. Reinforcement, a fundamental concept in behaviorism, is the primary process that shapes and controls behavior and occurs in two forms, positive and negative. In Skinner's book, The Behavior of Organisms, 1938, he initially defined negative reinforcement as synonymous with punishment referring to the presentation of an aversive stimulus. However, this definition was later refined in science and human behavior.